Welcome. My name is Nada St. Germain. I would like to thank you for joining us on this series of training sessions that we put together for you to help you build a successful GNLD business. I have some friends here that are helping me out with these sessions, Cindy Hadley and Mary Ellen Vandenbrink, who you are going to watch and listen to their presentations, and hopefully they will help you really understand what it takes to build a successful GNLD business. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to sharing with you. Hello, my name is Nada St. Germain. In this session, I'm going to share with you on how to do your 30-second commercial and your ID story. So there's two different sections to this actual session. The first part is the 30-second commercial. For example, if you bump into somebody, maybe an old school friend, or if you're in a social environment where you're just talking to somebody and they ask what you do, it's very important that you have something ready and prepared just to plant the seed about you and your GNLD business. So for example, if somebody asks you, what do you do? I sometimes will say, well, I work from home and I help people achieve better health, slow aging, have more energy, and I also help those who want to build a part-time business where they can earn some extra money. So that kind of leaves an opening to hoping that they'll want to know more about what you do, to start a conversation, which will eventually lead to making a coffee date where you can get together and sit down and really give them the bigger picture as to what you can do. And this also is an opportunity for you to find out their needs, right? If they're interested in health, and let's say they're struggling with fatigue or energy, or they might start asking you questions about their children, or they might ask you questions about the business because you've mentioned that you also help people earn additional income. So this way, this determines their needs and helps you lead you to where the conversation will go, okay? So another example, what do you do? I have my own business. And don't say anything. See if they're open to continuing the conversation, to asking you questions, and then this way you can go in turn and ask them questions about what they do. And again, developing that relationship, developing that trust in sharing what you do. So again, that's another avenue that you can take, especially if you know you have some time. Again, if you're at a party or a sporting event, this is again a way that you can continue the conversation with your potential customer or distributor. So another thing that you can do for a 30-second commercial is, what do you do? I work with people who want to slow aging, have more energy, and also help people earn additional income. So you're hoping that something in that sentence will intrigue them and build some curiosity for them to ask more questions about what you do again. So you're going to find what works for you, what you're comfortable saying. So again, you can tweak it to your personality, but this is something that you should be able to, it should just be able to roll off your tongue if somebody does ask you, what do you do? So be ready with your 30-second commercial. So again, it needs to build curiosity. You want them to be able to ask more questions. You want them to want to know more about what you do. But don't tell them everything about the company. You know, you don't want to go on about solid nutrition and talking about all the products and what you take and how much it costs. Again, this is just building a bit of curiosity to continue a conversation, and you want them to be able to say yes to hearing more about this over coffee or maybe even over lunch, okay? So now the ID story. The ID story, again, is a little more detail about you and about what you do. And this is shared more in an environment, let's say when you're having your grand opening, or you're having a taste of wellness or a shake and shop party, and people are sitting around your living room or in your home or in a setting where there's a presentation. And now you are to share your ID story. It's still powerful, a little more about you again, but then you want them to think, wow, you know, that sounds really exciting, and you want them to want to be a part of what you're doing. So that's why it's very important for you to practice your ID story, sit down with your upline and write this out and practice this over and over and over again so you're comfortable doing your ID story without rambling too long, okay? So basically you can tell your name, if you want to share your children, what you do outside of GNLD, okay, especially if you do have another job. Who introduced you to GNLD and what caused you to say yes, whether it be to the products, to the business. And again, when sharing results with the products, don't go into a lot of detail as far as illnesses. Very briefly, just so they know why you started to use the products, but don't go into how many products you were taking and when you were taking them and things like that, because again, you don't want to bore them with your ID story. Again, you're just piquing their interest. So I'm going to give you a brief example of my ID story, and I tend to change it up every once in a while, only because it depends on my environment, depends on the group, and eventually you'll get good at doing that. Remember, it's been years that I've been doing this, so I'm able to change my ID story, but I just share hello. My name is Nada St. Germain, and I was introduced to GNLD by my neighbor who was suffering from fatigue and depression, and she had amazing results using the GNLD products. I was curious more for my mom, who was not well at the time, and I also had some health issues myself. I was suffering from fatigue and digestive problems and joint problems and allergies. So I decided actually to have somebody come to my home and do a presentation because I wanted to know more about the products and how they can help me. My family and my friends decided to try the products, and we all got results. Now, I wasn't looking for business. I was working as a police officer, and I really thought that that's what I wanted to do, and I didn't think I had time to add anything else to my plate. So I registered just to get a 25% discount because I knew that would give me a wholesale price. But after getting amazing results on the products, and I was receiving great feedback from my family, from my friends, I decided that I would share these products as a little home-based business, mainly for tax savings, because I really could use a bit of a tax break. Well, my business grew. I got really excited about making a difference in people's lives. I knew that I didn't want to be a police officer for the rest of my life, so I was able to leave my job and stay home and start a family and be my own boss and really have the time freedom that I really, really wanted. Okay, so that's a little bit about my ID story. If you've just got started in your business and you don't have an elaborate story, but you just have a very brief maybe experience on the product, or you've just started building your GNLD business and you haven't received your first check yet, that's okay. Share your upline story. Share the person that invited you. Let's say they're a senior manager or they're a manager. Share their success that they've had in the GNLD business, and this is why you're building your business, okay? So if you were skeptical, share that, because people a lot of times do feel skeptical when they're first introduced to GNLD. If you were uncomfortable when you went to your first meeting, share that with your guests. And if you want to mention, and if you had the intention of saying no when you went to your first meeting, share that. Because a lot of people will, let's say, tell their spouses or tell their friends, oh yeah, I'm going to that meeting, but you know what? I'm not interested at all. I'm just going there to support what she's doing, but I'm not going to get started. You know what? Let people know that that was your feeling going to your first presentation, so they're not uncomfortable in attending and possibly taking a look. So again, this whole ID story is to help them feel comfortable and to say, you know what, that's just like me. You want them to feel relaxed. You want them to be able to know more. You want them to feel and say to themselves, that's someone like me, okay? And to be able to relate to you, because it's very, very important that they can relate to what you're doing. And again, don't ramble. Don't say too much about the products or too much about the company. So that's a little bit about your 30-second commercial and your ID story. I hope this helps you, and again, it's very important to sit down, write this out, and work with your upline to perfect your ID and your 30-second commercial. Thank you.